It's time for another podcast of Rainbow Gastronomy with our special foodie correspondent at Left of Straight Podcasts, Chef Lynn Wheeler. Whether he's taking us to a local food and wine festival, sharing tips and recipes, or interviewing his foodie friends, Chef Lynn always has something up his chef coat. So sit back, have a drink, and let's get cooking.
Hey guys, welcome back to Rainbow Gastronomy on the Left of Straight Podcast Network. I'm your special foodie correspondent, Chef Lynn Wheeler, and today I have an excellent guest with me, my dear friend Brian Rothbart. Brian and I have known each other for way too long to remember at this point, but he was one of the owners at Third and Vine. Remember I talked to Jamie about cheese a while back, and so he was the other cohort of the three of us at Third and Vine there. And so he's now in Philadelphia, where he has opened Nutmeg, which is a non-alcoholic bar and market. So Brian, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. It's a beautiful warm day in Philadelphia.
Awesome. So tell me about Nutmeg, kind of what your philosophy is. You know, what are you doing with the non-alcoholic bar idea?
So Nutmeg is dedicated to the idea that people who don't want to consume alcohol need to be left behind. It's a really wonderful time in the world for mental health and sobriety, and just awareness that alcohol is not necessarily good for you. And so we want to provide a forum where people can drink or not drink, whatever they want. And for some people, that's not drinking today. For some people, that's not drinking while they're pregnant. And for some people, that's not drinking for the rest of their lives. And we support all of that.
That's great. That's great. I recently did a segment about food and beverage trends for 2024. And one thing that I did find across quite a few articles was the rise of non-alcoholic spirits and wine. So I was really interested in this when I heard you were doing this. So talk to me a little bit about some of the products you use. How do you find the non-alcoholic wines and spirits? Do they come from the same purveyors? Compare them kind of to their alcoholic counterparts. What are you looking for? Something really similar, or?
So I am looking for a variety of things, and there's a whole constellation of different producers out there. The world has changed drastically in the past 10 and more to the point 5 years. NA beers have just taken off. Brands like Athletic are leading the charge, but now you'll find more mainstream brews like Heineken. A lot of German producers, Klustaller, of course, is an old stalwart, and Weihenstephaner is a favorite of mine, are all making non-alcoholic beer. As far as the wine go, they're really getting to be exceptional as more mainstream winemakers take the NA market seriously. I currently carry wines from a winemaker named Johannes Leitz. It's in the Rheingau region of Germany. And they're using real wine grapes in a real fourth-generation German winery using real winemaking techniques, and the wines are just outstanding. As far as the spirits goes, there's different categories that I try to cover. We have some spirits like Spiritless, for example, which is a de-alcoholized product. Their bourbon is very malty and rich. I also have other products like Free Spirits, which their bourbon is more like a rye. It's a very peppery, it has a very peppery finish and notes of like apricots. These are not de-alcoholized. They've never had alcohol in them. They have a water base and have never seen any alcohol. I'm also looking into other products like Toast, which has been doing very well. This is kind of in that third category that I really love, that are drinks that are not trying to convince you that they're alcohol. They're alcohol adjacent. They have their own wonderful flavor profiles. They're not trying to mimic alcohol. They're just delicious, complex, mature flavors that are great all on their own or in a cocktail, as we'll see in a minute.
Okay, that sounds kind of like something that I was looking at too when I was doing the food trend thing. they talked about, I can't remember now what it was called, but there was a trio of things that you get on Amazon that were similar to that. Like they were very herbaceous, but they weren't trying to mimic alcohols. So that was really interesting to me too.
Yeah, it's wonderful. There's several producers that are making what they call elixirs. Three Spirit is a great one. This has Damiana leaf, caraway seed, lion's mane mushroom, yerba mate, passion flower, and these are great as syrups, as bases to add into a spritz or a Collins or something else. And they have really unique flavors that are special on their own.
So, what's your process when you're creating non-alcoholic cocktails? Is it just kind of like exactly like when you would do a regular cocktail? I mean, it sounds kind of strange, but I feel like that's probably what it is. Yeah.
It is. There is a lot of similarity. It's the same idea where you want to have a balance of flavors. You want to have usually a hint of sweetness, perhaps a little bit of spice, fruit, acid, saltiness sometimes, and you want to combine all those in a balanced way. I do like to have a variety of types of drinks on the menu. I make a non-alcoholic version of a French 75, which is a bright, fresh, refreshing lemonade type, grown-up sparkling lemonade type drink. I have a chai cooler, which is a house-spiced chai tea with a cinnamon whiskey replacement. And then I can also make all sorts of different classic cocktail variations that are non-alcoholic. I can make a Negroni, I can make a Mezcal Negroni, I can make an old-fashioned, and things like that.
Nice, nice. So let's talk a little bit about the food menu. I love what I saw on there. It's a very concise kind of mix of what I would call like bar snacks. So just kind of tell me everything about the menu.
Yeah, elevated bar snacks. Well, they're basically all foods that I love. So lots of things that are cured, preserved, pickled, salted, packed in oil. Anchovies are just a great bar snack. One of the reasons I like the food that is salted or cured is because they refresh the palate and make you want to drink more. And quite frankly, I want people to want to drink more. That's what we do here. As far as the finger food, the crostinis, I try and keep it simple, classic flavors, roasted red peppers and black olives with feta. I just found a great ricotta from a dairy in Vermont, and we're serving that with some local honey. It's honey made from a hive just right around the corner, and pink peppercorns. And then, of course, one of my favorites, anchovies with mozzarella and pesto is kind of a classic.
Nice, nice. So now, do you you run the kitchen yourself as well? Are you like a one-man band over there, or?
I am currently a one-man band over here. Yeah. The business model that I'm working with is meant to be operated with a minimum of staff. Either one or two people. Eventually, we will have two people back here. One person making food, and one person serving drinks. But it's meant to be a concise operation.
Nice, nice. And you've been open for like about a month now, I think you said. So how's it going so far?
Yeah, about a month. It's been going really well. The neighborhood has been incredibly friendly. My neighbors, other business people, have been very forthcoming with advice, helpful tips, contacts for different vendors, tradespeople, and that sort of thing. I've already got some events planned to become more part of the neighborhood. And part of the mission of Nutmeg is to make not drinking more acceptable and accessible in society, just to kind of get that up into the ether, that going out doesn't necessarily have to involve alcohol. So we're going to be hosting some non-alcoholic events. We have a comedy show scheduled for June 6th, which hopefully will lead to more events like that, more sober meetup events. I have some kind of in the wings that are not fully fleshed out yet. We're doing another neighborhood event with some clothing purveyors and tailors, where people can go and pick out their clothes, hopefully appealing to people with different body sizes that that wouldn't necessarily go to a vintage clothing store because they're worried that it might not fit. We'll have tailors on hand for people to be able to make alterations and get clothes that fit the way that they should. So yeah, we're trying to engage the neighborhood and especially have sober events.
That's awesome. I love that idea, that clothing, that tailoring idea of kind of combining that event. And, that's great. I mean, as someone who has a hard time sometimes finding clothes that fit me well, I'm kind of in between sizes now, having lost a bit of weight. But yeah, that's great. I mean, luckily I can tailor my own clothes, but that's a different story. So anyway, so I I have this conundrum when people ask me what's my favorite thing to cook, or do I like to cook or bake more, or whatever. Because my food are kind of like my children. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you that question. Of your concoctions, as you list them, your kind of non-alcoholic cocktails on your menu, do you have a favorite? And can you kind of tell me about it, what the ingredients in it are, maybe some tasting notes, stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I think my favorite and probably the house favorite is called the No Pain, No Problem. Um, it's a take on a painkiller, which is a classic cocktail, and it's a type of a daiquiri in the daiquiri family. So I use coconut. I use a rum, a dark spiced rum equivalent, cream of coconut, some lime juice, some grapefruit juice, a dash of orange bitters, and then I topped out with some zested nutmeg to add a little spice to it. I also am a huge fan of spritzes. Spritzes are easy, fun, great for the hot weather, and delicious, and can be in a whole variety of different flavor profiles. So you usually add some sort of bitter or savory or spiced liqueur as the base, add a little bit of club soda, and then top with the sparkling wine of some sort. Maybe I should go ahead and just show you exactly what that means. So
Sure.
what I'm going to start with is this Milano liqueur from Free Spirits. It's kind of analogous to an Aperol or a Campari. It has both bitter and fruity notes to it, and that adds a really nice element for the base. So I just pour about 1.5 ounces bottom there. About 1 ounce or so of club soda. Top with the toast, the tea-based drink.
Is that like your sparkling wine kind of equivalent?
Yeah, this is my sparkling wine alternative. It's sort of in its own category. It's white tea with, so it's not caffeinated either. It's great for pregnant people, with white cranberry, ginseng, and gentian. And gentian is a bitter root that's used in a lot of herbal liqueurs as well. And it's just a touch of it adds to balance out and cleanse the palate. And we top that with an orange peel, and you have an easy summer drink.
Nice, that's lovely. That's really refreshing. I'd like to give it a try. I have to make it to Philadelphia sometime. So why don't you tell our listeners and watchers like where you're located, what your hours are, where they can find you on the internet. Let's get you some business drummed up.
Sure, thank you. So I'm in South Philadelphia, on East Passyunk Ave. The address is 1835 East Passyunk Ave. I'm on the internet on Instagram at Nutmeg Bar and Market, www.nutmegbarandmarket.com. Instagram is really the best way. I'm also on Facebook. You can find Nutmeg Bar and Market. Instagram is really the best way to follow new developments. I'm constantly trying new drinks. I'm coming up with a roasted pear and thyme concoction soon, and all different fun things that we're doing.
Nice, nice. So you're doing a lot of your own kind of mixers like we did at Third and Vine, like making your own syrups and stuff like that too?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's part of the fun. I'm really looking forward to the spring and the summer as the different fresh fruits and vegetables come in. This part of the world is famous for its blueberries. We get get some wonderful fresh blueberries. We'll make a blueberry cobbler. With that, like I said, we're going to do some pears. We've got some peaches. I have a plan for 3 spirits. This particular one, the Livener, is very brisk and bright, but it has some nice watermelon notes to it. So we're going to make a watermelon and gin drink with the Livener. It has a touch of cayenne pepper to it as well. So we're going to do all sorts of fun things for the summer.
That sounds great. Yeah. So one last quick question: why nutmeg? What? I mean, I know this, but why don't you tell everybody else?
Sure. So there's a couple of stories actually. So nutmeg is one. It's obviously a spice, so it's food related. So it immediately conveys the idea that this is a place to consume food and beverage. It is a slightly elevated flavor, but not fancy. It's not like truffle or foie gras or something like that. It's not snooty. It's approachable and it has homey, warm flavors to it. It also doesn't convey any particular genre or nationality. It's kind of an international flavor. And then also nutmeg is the name of my dog. And so I thought I would honor her because she really is very special in my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. So, Brian, thanks so much for joining me. This has been great. I really hope that we can, get some people your way because I want you to be very successful. And Third and Vine was a great success. We had a great time there, and I'm sure what you're doing at Nutmeg is equally as amazing. So, like I said, thanks for joining me. Guys, thanks for watching and listening here at Rainbow Gastronomy on Left of Straight Podcast Network. Check me out on my YouTube channel, Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn, for some great recipes and stuff there. You can also visit my website, please, cheflynnwheeler.com, and find me across all social media at Chef Lynn Wheeler. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. So guys, if you're interested in stopping by Nutmeg Bar and Market, if you're in the Philadelphia area, again, they are located at 1835 East Passaic Avenue. Their hours currently are Thursday and Sunday from 4 to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 4 to 10 p.m.
Thanks, Chef Lynn, for another great podcast. Be sure to like this on your favorite video or audio distributor with a thumbs up or 5-star rating. And be sure to look for Rainbow Gastronomy podcasts twice a month here on the Left of Straight Podcast Network. We'll see you next time.